QNote is a secure text document manager. It offers military-level encryption empowered by BicDroid Q technologies. It also offers auto-sync through third-party clouds using the cloud service that we just selected earlier. So let's load QNote. When you load QNote, every new account actually comes with a default note that contains your QM account password. The reason why we do this is because you don't actually have to log in very often. Once you log in once to your device, you don't have to log in again. So it's actually pretty common that you might forget your account password. So if you go into here, you're going to see your account password in plain text. And the reason why we can do this is because it's secure. No one is ever going to see this account password unless you verify it on your device with your verification code. So it's safe and secure. When we go back to the main screen, this screen basically has a list of all the notes that you have stored in your system. At the top, we have back and new buttons. The back button will bring you back to the BicDroid QM main screen. We can click new to create a new note. When you create a new note, you'll be presented with this screen. It contains a title and content. The title, if you leave it blank, is going to be automatically numbered according to QNote and then an incremented number for each note that you create without a title. Or you can choose to enter any title you wish. I'm going to leave it blank to demonstrate the number incrementing feature. The content, I'm just going to write 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to see why later. So just remember that the content for this note is 1, 2, 3, 4, but you can write anything you want and it's going to be safe and secure. At this point, we can click save, and then we can go back to the main screen. And then we see our newly created note, which has been automatically titled QNote 1. To demonstrate the syncing features, I'm now going to log in to the same account on a different device. Again, the first time you load your BicDroid QM on a new device, you're going to have the same terms and conditions screen that you had before. So just accept and continue. And now you'll have to log in with the same account information that you did for the first device. So once you've entered your login information, just press the login button. Since we've already done the verification code creation process, we don't have to do it again for every other device. All we have to do is enter the same verification code that we used on the first device. Once you've entered your verification code, you can click Done to go into the app. But before I do that, I want to explain a feature called verification code recovery. So what happens if you lose your code or you forget it? Your files and data are all encrypted using this code. So of course, if you lose the code, then your data would be lost forever. So this is why we offer a service called verification code recovery. In the event that you lose or forget your code, we can recover it for you. What happens is the BicDroid servers store a small piece of information about your code that can be used to recover it. Now, this piece of information by itself cannot be used to recover your code, so this means that the BicDroid server cannot actually recover your code on its own. In order to actually recover it, the server will send that piece of information to your phone, and your phone also has a piece of information that can be combined together in order to recover your code. This can only be done if you've successfully logged into your device once before. If you have a brand new device that you've never logged into before, you will not be able to perform code recovery on the new device. So I'm going to log into this now. Because it's a new device, I'll be asked to set up my cloud service again. I'm going to have to use the same account that I used on the first device, which was Dropbox. And it has to be the same Dropbox account as well. If we wait a few moments, just because it was the first time setting up this device, it'll take a few seconds to sync. But you saw QNote 1 show up on the left device. This shows that the sync is working fine between the two devices. So now, if I create a second note, I'll leave the title blank again to show the incremental titling feature, and I'm going to use the same content that I used in the first note, which was 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll go back to the main screen, and as we see the title incremented to QNote 2, And after a few moments, we should see it show up on the left device, which it did. Now, what I'd like to do now is show you how the encryption actually works. So these files are actually encrypted on the cloud service. So if I went into the Dropbox app and I tried to look at the QNote that I just made, in the Dropbox folder we can see the two notes here, but if I go into it, what you'll see is just a bunch of binary data. And it looks like this because it's actually encrypted. This is what Dropbox actually sees. And Dropbox cannot recover our 1234 that we typed into the note from this data. Now note that this file ends with, it might be hard to see, but it says 4B29. If you notice the last few digits in this file, it may be hard to see, but it says B29D. Now, because I typed the same content into both notes, you might expect both of these to have the same encrypted content. But in fact, BicDroid QM uses different keys every single time you make a new file. So even if the files have the same content, the encrypted contents are going to be different always. If you notice, the last digits are here, 594C, which is different from the first one. And in fact, all of these digits are going to be different. In order to get the Dropbox, I had to tab out of the BicDroid QM app. And a feature of BicDroid QM is every time you tab back into it, you need to re-enter your verification code. So once you've entered your verification code, just click Done. And then we're back into QNote. So I've demonstrated that QNote is a secure app. All of your data is fully encrypted, even if it's stored on a third-party cloud. They're never going to have access to your data, and only you can access your data if you enter the correct verification code. QNote is useful if you want to store your passwords, as has already been demonstrated by the QM account password. You can put banking information, you could put any sensitive information you want, because you have the knowledge that it's secure.